Welcome everybody. Today we are going to talk about how to improve your email open rates. So you are going to learn how open rates are calculated, why they are inaccurate, why a low open rate is a disaster, and I'm going to give you 10 ways to improve your email open rate today. So why would you listen to me? My name is Michael Comeau, and I'm teaching you email strategies based on over 100 million emails sent, probably over 200 million, but I'm being conservative, and well over 1,000 split tests, which let me know exactly what works in the real world. And I warn you, it's not what they tell you in traditional marketing books. So my writing has been cited by the New York Times, the Daily News, the Wall Street Journal, etc., etc., etc. And before we get started, I want to make clear that I've simplified some of the math. I also want to emphasize that email opens are not everything. You can't pay your bills with email opens. At the end of the day, sales are everything. That said, email opens are still important, so we want to get them as high as reasonably possible. So let's start with how open rates are calculated. And again, I simplified some of the math here. So if you send 10,000 emails and 2,000 emails are opened, you get a 20% open rate. Pretty straightforward. Now let's talk about how email opens are actually registered. So emails contain a 1 pixel sized image called a tracking pixel. It's basically a tiny little picture inside the email. And when a pixel is downloaded from a server, an open is registered. And this is related to why open rates are inaccurate. There are two problems with the tracking pixel. Problem number one is if a person sets their email to not download images, the tracking pixel is ignored. It never gets downloaded. So someone opens your email and you don't even know it. Second problem is with Apple. So there's something called Apple Mail Privacy Protection, and it automatically downloads the pixel for all emails. And this creates false positives because, again, when that pixel gets downloaded and open is registered. So again, a false positive. So your email opens are undercounted and overcounted at the same time, and they sort of offset each other, but it creates some issues. Now, why would you look at open rates if they're not accurate? So imperfect data is better than no data. We could still see trends. We could still see things going up or down. We can test things to see what generates better results. And most importantly is if you have a low open rate, it's generally a sign of serious underlying problems with your email strategy and even potentially your entire business. So what causes a low open rate? In my mind, there are 6 things, and basically the 10 tips I give you later are going to fix all of them. First one is your subject lines suck. They're boring. They don't generate curiosity. Second is your content is not targeted enough. That means what you're covering is too bland. It's not specific enough to be interesting. Third is you're not sending enough emails. Yes, folks, most people do not send enough emails. If you're watching this channel, you should be sending more emails, I guarantee you. Fourth is you set the wrong expectations. People don't know what to expect from you. You're not consistent. Fifth is your email list is dirty. You have bad contacts that should have been deleted 2 years ago, but you keep sending them emails, and that's creating deliverability problems. And finally, your list is too big, and that's sort of related to number 5. Most people have lots of bad contacts on their email list that they should have deleted a long time ago. We're going to fix your open rate now. Step 1 is to write better subject lines, and I'm going to give you 6 different ways to write better subject lines. First one is to make it weird. One of my best subject lines is, does size matter with open rates? So bizarre. People have to find out what's inside, but it also implies value because I'm talking about open rates, and that's something people on my list want to learn about. So again, I'm incorporating something bizarre with something implying value for the reader. Second is use dramatic numbers. This is a great strategy. So I wrote an email on writing fast. I could do 5 tips for writing emails faster, but I decided to go for something dramatic, and I wrote 80% better emails in 40 seconds. A lot more exciting. Again, drama is big. Number 3, write for humans. You want to put personality into your emails. So 2 of my best performing emails are saying no gives you power and the 5-second rule for email. These are not something a big company would write. They sound like something coming from a person because my brand is all about being personal, one-on-one, a little off the wall. So that's why I use subject lines that sound human. Number 4, say you. Find any excuse you can to say you in the subject line because when people read you, they think there's something in it for me. And an example I give is, does emailing keep you up at night? So if you're struggling with wording an email, find a reason to put you in it. It works really well. Number 5, say how to. People love to learn, and a simple how-to subject line can do big things for your open rate. And again, you can make them a little off the wall too, like how to not suck at swimming or how to make killer videos, which is a little more straightforward, but how to implies that there is value inside. So always try how to. And number 6, don't use subject lines like Frank's weekly golf newsletter. Imply a benefit for reading. Something like learn the secret to a 175-yard drive. That's a lot more interesting than Frank's weekly golf newsletter. Okay, let's move on to step 2, split test your subject lines. What is a split test? So a split test, also known as an A/B test, is when you test 2 or more subject lines to see which generates a better open rate. So I'll give you an example. So let's just say you run a newsletter about building a Twitter following. You set up your email to send 2 identical emails with different subject lines. And email A would be something like how I got 2 million impressions on a tweet. And then email B could be the secret to making tweets go viral. Now, which one would do better? I'm guessing email A, but I don't know for sure. That's the whole point of testing. It's to take your ego and your instincts out of the equation and put them to a literal test. And then over time, of course, your skills get better as you do more and more testing. So what else can you test? So that brings us to step 3. You can test email content. So why would you test content? It's because you want to see what generates more clicks. Now, the subject of this video is opens, but clicks are related, so this might seem a little backwards. So what you would do here is you send 2 emails with the same subject line, but different content formats. So things you can test, a short email versus a long email, or you can test having links at the top and the bottom versus just the bottom. Now, why would you do this? Because you want more clicks. Clicks are a sign of engagement and they improve your deliverability. So the more your emails get delivered, the more people can open them. And of course, if people are clicking on your emails and liking what you see, they'll be looking forward to your other emails in the future. So you absolutely want more clicks. Step 4, know what your readers want. And this is related to steps 2 and 3, is you need to give the people what they want. Do they want exciting subject lines, boring ones, short ones, long ones? Who knows? This is the whole point of testing. I have seen email lists where only boring subject lines work. The exciting stuff would not work. You have to do boring stuff with some lists. You never know. Again, just test and you'll know for sure. Okay, step 5, set expectations for emailing and meet them. When you join my email list, you find out right away that you get an email every 2 days at 12 p.m. And these emails go out like clockwork without fail. So people get used to reading my emails every 2 days. Consistency matters a lot because you want people to read your emails as part of their routine. You can't send 1 email this week, 5 next week, and then 3 the next week after and expect people to have you as part of their routine. So you need to pick an email sending volume and you need to stick to it as much as you can. And this relates to number 6, which is email at least twice per week. I personally email every 2 days, which works out to 3.5 times, but I recommend you email at least twice per week. So the biggest sin you can make in email is not emailing often enough. And don't be afraid, because you have to remember, why did people join your list? It's to get emails. They didn't join your list to not hear from you. They want to hear from you. So if you make interesting emails, you can send a lot more than you think. So again, just send away. Now let's do some very basic math. Let's say you send 1 email per week. If a person misses 1 email, that means they go 2 weeks without hearing from you. If they miss 2 emails in a row, that's 3 weeks. And then they just forget about you. So that's why you should send more often, not less. Step 7, remove unengaged contacts from your email list. Your open rate rises because you're sending emails to fewer people. So if you have 3,000 opens out of 10,000 sends, you have a 30% open rate. If you have 3,000 opens out of 8,000 sends, you have a 37.5% open rate. So again, send to fewer people by removing those unengaged contacts, and there's an added benefit. The more engaged your list is, the better your deliverability gets, which improves your open rate again. So it's a virtuous cycle. So please keep your list clean, plus you save money. Most email sending providers charge by the contact. So if you have less contacts, you have a smaller bill. Now, just as an aside, never permanently delete your contacts. Save them in Excel or a Google Sheet or something. There are uses for them down the road. But absolutely remove them from your system. Step 8, be ultra specific with your messaging. You want to be a sniper. The more specific your message, the better your engagement will be. Take my email newsletter. I don't write about general marketing. I write only about email marketing. And I have a very specific message. Send as many quality emails as possible and you will make more money. So the only people who sign up are on board with me. They want the types of emails I send because my message is resonating with them. Step 9, build personal relationships with your subscribers. I reply to every single email I get because I want to build up relationships. I want people to feel like they have a connection with me, that they can trust me, because I want an army of people that are happy to receive emails from me. And I can see in my system, the people that I go back and forth with over email, They click everything I send them. They open everything I send them. So I want relationships, as many as humanly possible. And this is also good for deliverability, to have just these consistent people emailing back and forth, because it kind of signals that you're a real person. You're not a scammer. You're not a spammer. You're not any of those things. So it's also good for list health. So I recommend you apply to every single email you get. Step 10, segment your email list. And this is more for advanced people. But segmenting means you send certain emails to only certain parts of your list. For example, I may teach about copywriting in the future. I could create a segment of my list that only gets copywriting content. You could also segment based on engagement. For example, you could send things to people who open your emails in the last week or clicked in your emails on the last month, stuff like that. There's a million ways to slice and dice this up. And the reason you do it is because a specific message for a specific audience always increases engagement. And if you guys want me to make a video about segmenting your list, leave me a comment below and I'll take a look. So if you do all these 10 things, I guarantee you will get better results. The key is to test things, analyze them, and test again. The more you test, the better you get. It's as simple as that. So if you want to learn more email marketing strategies for free, go to michael99.com/YouTube. Or is that / I don't know, michael99.com/YouTube. The link is also in the video description below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, leave it a comment, subscribe if you want. I'm going to have more email marketing strategies coming soon. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.